full of a lot of words, but it is actually quite an interesting area because it's a terribly large need for the business growth. Now, why is this important? It's because delivering the right message to the right group of people at the right time and through the channels forms the basis of optimization for response and conversion rates for sales results on the digital media. Now, this is basically creating the overall business area for us. And that is the reason why the MarTech category altogether is the total addressable market size is terribly large. It's over $120 billion worldwide. And the space that we are going in is a continuous growth area. Now, maybe I should also show you a couple of slides within that space that we have been working on. Looks like, there it is. Now, within the space of MarTech, we have been working and building quite a strong revenue of 50.5 million crowns. That's our 2020 results. 100% of our revenue comes through subscriptions, and we've been listed back in 2018 in the First North market. Within the space of MarTech, we specialized in 5 key industries. And within that space, we have approximately around 86 clients, and with the names that you might recognize as within retail, Metas, Boni Day, Bolia, Gyllendale, within finance and subscription, Fitness World, Bonia, Storyhouse, Teleenergy, and going on. Now, the interesting part of that space that we have been operating is that it is a continuous growth space. Now, as the demand for the personalized, relevant communication from end users increases, so does the requirements for Agillic-alike platforms. Now, within the space of technology companies growing in AI-driven, data-driven, relevant message distribution through the all active channels, we are not a nice-to-have technology, but more like a need-to-have technology. Within the space that we are giving you an update, I also would like to give you a quick status update on our business results for Q1 that we have recently been going out with. We have delivered quite strong results on quarter as we go through from 2020, which has been a tough year for us because of most of our clients have been hit by the COVID-19 lockdowns. But as we get out of that and move into Q1, we have increased on our multiple areas of our business, from revenue to gross profit, number of clients, as well as our bottom line. Now, going forward, what are we focusing on? It's purely growth. We have delivered our financial guidance. The numbers that we are sticking quite strongly on are AR growth from 20. The hockey stick that has been also been mentioned earlier, that the growth is our key focus, as well as focusing on positive cash flow from our operations and positive EBITDA. So that will be my quick update for the start of the conversation.
Perfect. Thank you, Kasper. Will you go a little bit through the valuation numbers and how we assess it on our speedometers? And then, of course, I will always disagree or agree or put comments in the end by some questions.
Yes, thank you. So let's start with the total ARR. So this is the number from Q1 2021, and as we see here, Agillic is in fact one of the largest companies measured on the ARR in Denmark. And so, as you also said, the results have been affected by the COVID-19, decreasing the ARR growth with about 16%. And however, you expect 14% in 2021 and 27% the next year in 2022. So yeah, currently, if we look at the valuation, it is quite low actually. Looking at the valuation multiple at 4.8 times ARR. And so if you succeed to kind of increase your ARR growth to, let's say, 14% or 27%, then you will, we can pull out your logo to the right side, and then evaluation would be, according to this, again, this relationship between growth and evaluation, it would be, or Agillic will be valued to about 15 times AR. Yeah, so it's for investors, you should follow the growth and see whether things are turning to the better side in the post COVID-19 time here. So this was just very short about the evaluation and the key SaaS metrics. Let's move on again to the SaaS assessment of Agillic, where we have this simple framework as used before. So looking at the key SaaS metrics here, they are low. However, again, it can always be increased to the better side, hopefully in the next years.
Mm-hmm.
And however, if you look at the other parameters, we see that global scalability is actually quite high. And maybe we can elaborate more on this in a minute, Emma. And also the technology level, as you told us about it with AI and the data-driven platform. And you also taps into a very, very large market. And this might be even larger now in the post-COVID-19 time. So yeah, that was very short about the speedometers here. And I think I will try or start asking you the questions now related to this, Emma.
Sure.
So let's start with SaaS parametrics or SaaS metrics here. How can the company going forward at least grow at the market or above the market, and at the same time also retain Agillic's customers? And also, what is your upselling potential? Maybe you can elaborate more on that.
Absolutely. So if we start with our go-to-market model, the strategy that we have defined, which is international and scalable, a business model that is going both for the direct and indirect sales channels. So I used to call this one, coming from a small market like Denmark. When you go out to the world with your own sales team, you have a couple of soldiers. We had to define armies. So how do we create a kind of a volume of sales scalable model? So that's one of the reasons that we have established our partner strategy, very detailed, with different levels of partners internationally in our footprint and key markets. Our focus on growth is mainly driven by key market focuses, partner-driven engagements, and scalable and repeatable success business cases. Now, in regards to the upsell part of it, the upsell is, we have one platform. It is actually terribly simple, and therefore it is so unique. The business is growing because data grows out in the market, because every single client of ours are collecting more data to activate. We are an activation channel for those data that is being unified. Now, when the market and the companies are growing with their data, so does their subscription fees to us. That is one way of looking at it. The second is the number of channels they're utilizing to communicate with their customers is the second reason why the subscription fees are increasing. So it's basically, as we keep our customers within our portfolio, as they are actively using the system, it will actually eventually grow itself. It's an organic growth because of the market terms.
Thank you. And then we have some scalability, let's say, factors here. So can you elaborate more on your, maybe through your partnerships, but also in terms of the onboarding process and sales process and decision-making process for customers? How is it for Agillic?
Sure. So let's look at the whole customer life cycle to simplify that one. So we start with a prospect. That prospect is becoming a client, either through direct or indirect channels. And usually, already in that space, we bring our partners into the conversation, because the partners will be the ones who will be working with the client to implement and integrate our system into their existing ecosystem. And thereby, the relationship starts for keeping our customers within our portfolio for the long term through our partners. Now, that is a very important part of it, because that will increase our retention rates, and that's one of the key parameters of our success. Our partners are divided into three different groups that we work with. Number one is the business development partners, those who are helping us to identify new prospects and complete new sales. We have integration and implementation solution partners, the ones that I've just mentioned. They help our clients to establish our platform within their ecosystem. And the third one is technology partnerships, and these are the vertical technology platforms or other technology solutions that we integrate with, and we create best of breed, because we are a best of breed system, and by unifying with the best of breeds, we create best of breed ecosystems that we go out and sell to our clients, either through their channels, our channels, or collectively. So it is a continuous opportunity for creating value for our clients. And that's one of the reasons that I keep saying that we are not a nice to have platform, but a business need to have platform. And lastly, I just want to mention on the global scalability, one of the areas that we have also established a very unique go-to-market approach is through our proof of concept. We are one of the few within our space that actually offers to our prospects a proof of concept free of charge in a very short period of time, onboarding and seeing results approach, because this actually is one of the major convincing factors for any prospect that is working with us.
You also touched the technology level. Let's just hear more about it in terms of your competition and your competitors. Why exactly is your SaaS platform even or more better? And maybe you can also elaborate on which customers are you targeting in the competition or in the competitive landscape?
Yes. I mean, as the market is so lucrative and is so large, so as the number of competition and the number of platforms, and they all are competition in different ways. I mean, everyone has different approach, their start and their history into the whole process. Ours is what makes us unique is that we have been established through a very data-centric perspective, a terribly visionary approach. Because what happened is the others are focusing on channel-based establishment and acquisitions and trying to attach multiple channel-based platforms to each other to create a kind of an offering. We have been coming from the data-centric data approach where channels are attached to it, which makes us extremely agile, extremely fast, and extremely future-ready. All we have to do is make sure that we are absolutely easy to integrate as we go forward to the upcoming future platforms, because that is the name of the game. You don't know what's coming. You just have to be future ready, and that's what we're focusing on our technology. And that's one of the reasons that we can compete in US tomorrow or in Germany tomorrow, and that makes us extremely unique.
Yes, so let's jump to the last main question here. So why should investors invest in Agillic relative to other SaaS companies?
I would say, first of all, the previous chart that you have shown, even though I don't want to comment on the details of that one, it just speaks for itself. The second is we are a mature company. Our size, our number of clients, our business model, and the opportunity for growth. Today we are looking at mostly fintech, martech companies, and what actually brings us that is how do we make sure that we have a sustainable business model, a unique technology that we can patent, we can actually compete against global players, as I call them frenemies, because they are friends, but they're also your enemies. We are operating within that space, and how do we create a unique offering? Our mindset is very simple. As long as we create terribly large client value, there will be business for us, and that's for me is as a global business opportunity. And the current valuation actually is a good start for some who are interested, maybe because we are in the business of growth, and we have completed 2020 with a great turnover, and 21 forward we have only focus on greater results.
Yes, let's turn to the audience question. There's one here. I think you elaborated a little bit on it. Are you only a subscription model, or are you also a consumption-based model, meaning that when your customers' consumption rise on your platform, you get more revenue in? So, there is a subscription part, and then there's a consumption part. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit on your both?
Sure.
And what are the, how much of is consumption, how much is subscription?
Right. The answer is quite simple. It's the unification of these two is our subscription model. So it's basically our subscription fee is based on the number of channels and the size of the data that unique active recipients that the customers are interested to activate, and that's basically the definition of the subscription fees in the relationship, start of the relationship. And it is a very dynamic environment as they use more, and if they would like to increase the number of channels or the size of the data expense, then we expand the subscription fee too.
Perfect. And maybe you can elaborate, I know a little bit on your churn expectation. You know, the upselling is pretty clear for us. You know, when they use more channels, more data, you get more, but the churn, your expectations for the future, I know you have been hard hit by your clients being in the COVID-19 areas, as really in the airline travel and the fitness and the retail.
Yeah, absolutely.
But your future expectation on where maybe do you expect your churn to land? Are you a sticky company in your mindset when you're first in by your customers?
I mean, first of all, we don't expect churn. We work against churn for retention. But I understand, absolutely. So very good question. I mean, it's basically the business model altogether, because the reason that is extremely important for us to focus on our customer success is making sure that our platform is properly being utilized. We are operating within these industries with multiple clients in each, and I can tell you, we have access to. One is using it in a way that creates tremendous success, and the other is not in a fine way using the stack. They're not activating the way that they should. So what we are doing is trying to inspire everyone through our partners so everyone get the most out of the value. And when that happens, no one is going anywhere. Because at the end, what happens then is we're talking about money. I mean, we're talking about sales results. We're talking about conversion, customer lifetime value increase. Then we are in the business terms. And that's what we are focusing on right now on every customer client that we're working with. How do they realize their own business results so that they will stay with us? Basically, the technology is an enabler. The results come through how do you actually activate this technology. And we have a lot of knowledge and understanding through our partners that we're bringing on the table.
So in 15 seconds, explain your customers can actually measure your efforts almost on a daily or weekly basis by numbers. Is that correct?
There are some have defined their KPIs in such a level that can do it. We are in the process of building further easy to access ways of looking into value creation. That's what we are actually working very closely with our partners and our clients. They can, if they have actually were interested to start with. So that's one of the main reasons. I mean, I tell you this, everybody is interested in digital transformation. When you start on it, it is a tremendously rich environment, and you have to be ready for receiving the data and the implications, and you have to be agile and move forward with that one. Those who are with it, they're moving really fast, and they are the winners of the business.
Perfect. Thank you, Emma, and thank you for accepting being a lot in the red. The key SaaS metrics, it's how it is, but fortunately, that's also the easiest one to.
That's a good start, I would say. I'm the new guy, as you say.
Just grow more. Perfect. Thank you for taking the questions, Emma.
Thank you.